High as hell when I'm in the clouds. That's that space shit. Elevated, I'm hella faded.
Hey, water signs. We're back with a general pick a card reading for what's coming up in your life here in the next, I don't know, week or so. You know, maybe not, maybe a month. Who knows, whenever you watch it. Okay. First, I'm going to explain the order. Get that out of the way so I don't forget. It's going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay, so just take a deep breath, whichever one kind of resonates with you. If you're drawn to more than one pile, go ahead and watch all of them that you're drawn to. Or if you just want to watch the whole thing, go right ahead. Messages may or may not resonate. When you're reading for a collective, there's a lot of different messages that need to get put out. So if you only get a couple, those are the ones you're supposed to get. If you don't get anything, sorry. All right, I want to thank everyone who's been commenting and liking and subscribing. It is so wonderful. Thank you for sharing your stories with me. I really love reading them and getting to know you. I really do think it's a huge help for everyone else to be able to read your stories. I think it helps people, especially people going through similar experiences. So thank you for sharing. All right, I think that's about it. Yeah, that should be it. All right, I guess I'll see you in the piles. Bye. Hey, pile number 1. All right. So I usually only have the 3 cards because I try to keep it around 15 minutes for each reading. But I'm going to be retiring my deck, so because it's falling apart, and I don't want to like use it as much anymore. So I'll use it every now and then. But I did buy another deck to replace this one, so everyone gets like an extra card today to break in my new. Isn't it pretty? Yay! I'm so excited. It's the Smith weight. Instead of Rider weight, it's Smith weight. And it is so cool. It's like real vintage looking and like it's borderless. You can see this one has like a border around it. And it's slightly bigger. So I'm super excited about that. So I figured I would, kind of break in the deck and, warm it up a little bit. Because tarot decks, at least for me, they take a little while to like charge up, I guess. All right, so we're gonna start. We'll start here. 5 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles. Depending on where it is in the reading or what cards are. Oh, sorry. What cards are around it will kind of show you what the card itself means. For me, usually it's a sanctuary card. This, if I were to be reading this for myself, it would be something that says you need to go to your special, your sanctuary, your happy place. Everyone has or should have a place they can kind of go to, even if it's just in their mind or their heart or wherever it is. Just so you can kind of be at peace again and rest and relax and center yourself. So if I were to get this personally for me, that's usually what this means, unless the cards around it suggest otherwise. The otherwise might be feeling left out in the cold. Maybe someone has been ghosted. Maybe you started talking to someone and all of a sudden they're gone. Okay, they just left. That could be something this card might represent. It could mean ruin, it could mean destitution, it could mean, just a really rough patch. The 5s in the tarot are, I don't want to say rough, but they're kind of, you're halfway through. you know, the numbered cards at that point. So, I mean, things are kind of like, you're getting to that point where it's like right at the top of the, you know, so you're not really going down yet. You're still kind of climbing and getting to the top. So it's still kind of rough. That's what fives are. You'll notice just in about every suit, no matter what you're looking at, pentacles, swords, cups, wands, whatever it is, the fives usually are pretty, are a lot heavier, I would say, than the cards maybe surrounding them. You know, this card doesn't look cheerful, but it is in a way, because look where they are. They're right outside of a church. You know, they at any moment could go in and ask for warmth, ask for food, ask for help, but they're refusing to do so. This could mean maybe that, you know, I don't want to say pity party. I heard pity party. If you're having a pity party, fine, that's fine. It's fine to, you know, be in your feels for a little bit. That's wonderful. You know, but we shouldn't just live there. We should try to figure out what's going on, you know, what's going on behind it. Kind of try to dissect it a little bit. You know, you really have to help yourself. I mean, the help is there. You know, it's not saying there's no help. You have to do everything yourself. The help is there, you know, but you do have to help yourself get the help. You know, it's not like it's just going to all come to you. You're going to have to make a step, you know, into that church. You're going to have to make a step in the right direction. You know, once you're in the church, you're fine, you're safe, but it's just a matter of, you know, putting one foot in front of the other. And sometimes, especially when you're at this stage, you know, because it's a progression, tarot, you know, it's different stages and, you know, evolutions throughout your life. And usually when you're at this stage, it really is just like baby steps. You know, that's the energy typically with this, like a generalized card. Like you just want to be taking little baby steps just to try to get wherever it is you need to go to get back on track. Yeah, and for those of you that were ghosted, I feel like there might be another reason behind it. Because if they were just completely left out in the cold and there was nothing, like there wouldn't be a church behind them. You know, I feel like there's still warmth, there's still stuff there. You're just going to have to continue on without it for a while. So find some comfort in that, at least, you know, that it's not like, it doesn't mean like, if you want it to be over, then go ahead and end it, you know, just keep wandering, you know, but if it means something to you, you know, you might just have to be on your own for a little bit. That's life. That's what I just heard. Yeah, because it kind of looks like the tree of life, in the Kabbalah, kind of, sort of. You know, so it's like, I don't know, I heard that song. And life is like that sometimes, you know, if that's the path you're meant to walk. All right, I can't spend, oh, I've already spent more than, shit, too much time. All right, King of Swords. I absolutely am in love. Like, I was kind of at first, I was like, I don't know if I like this deck or not. I love it. I really do. It's so cool. All right, King of Swords. King of Swords is an awesome dude. He's honest. He's truthful. He's kind. He's very intellectual. He's very smart. He's very just honest. You know, he's to the point where it's, you know, it's honesty above everything, I think. So this might be how you're trying to live. Maybe some of you are working on this. Maybe some of you are working on just, you know, your personal truths, just trying to be as honest with yourself as possible. That's Libra. Libra might be important. Might be you, might be somebody else. I heard Libra. I heard unmoved. Whatever it is that you've kind of like discovered, there's some sort of truth that you might be discovering, and once you discover it, that's it. Like you're going to be like unmoved. That's it. You're sold on it. You know, and you recognize it as a truth. You recognize it as something that's truthful for you, for like your sole purpose. Okay, and see, like I heard it. I was looking at the throne because it's like made out of like stone. It's not going anywhere. It's heavy, you know, immovable. And I think that's why I thought about that. But I mean, there's also pictures of butterflies and things, so it really does suggest that you're still very light. So I do believe that this is just like some sort of personal epiphany or realization or truth or something that you've really come to realize or will be coming to realize. And I think it's really going to make things very clear. But it is important that you stand in your authenticity a lot. You know, be accountable for what you're saying. You know, own it. You know, but be as kind as possible. You don't have to be cutting with the things you say. I know if it was a Queen of Wands, a lot of people would say that, you know, she has a bit of a sharp tongue, you know, but the King of Wands is generally, or King of Wands, why am I saying Wands? King of Swords is generally more, I don't want to say holds his tongue, he just doesn't express himself as, he's very kind. He's always very kind, typically. He's learned to, you know, maybe hold his tongue a little bit more than, say, the Queen has. You know, she's more blunt, more, it'll just kind of fly out of her mouth. Maybe that's what you're working on. Maybe you're working on, you know, saying or not saying things. Maybe you're really working on like holding your tongue or, you know, just, now I feel like you should always say how you feel, but, you know, there should be, I think there's boundaries that are healthy for, you know, things that you say and how it might affect people. And you want to really be conscious of how you're speaking sometimes, that you don't unintentionally hurt people just because you're not being cautious with what you're saying. You should always try to be cautious. You know, I'm sometimes shit just comes out of my mouth, but that happens, you know. And if it does, be willing to forgive yourself. Shit happens, right? All right. Ace of Air. Ace of Air is the Ace of Swords. So 2 swords you got. A lot of honesty, a lot of truths coming out. Even these cards are like, I haven't had these that long. Ace of Swords is truth. It's a picture of a hand, and it's got like this big sword coming out. Hand of God just handing you. It's like like an epiphany. Like I said earlier, it's like having an epiphany, just like that aha moment when you're like, oh, I get it. I get it now. You know, this is how it is. This is how it should be. This is it. So it's something that kind of clicks within you, and it might be your brain that it clicks in. You know, your thoughts and stuff. It could be, you know, your emotions. Something kind of. I know it's like a very important personal message, something that's very personal. You know, I don't think this is something that a lot of people outside of you would even know what's going on. It's, yeah, like an inside job, definitely. You know, sometimes truths aren't easy, you know, because they might put us in positions that are uncomfortable. They're uncertain. You know, you might be in a position that you really don't recognize anything. You know, and it can be weird because just yesterday the situation seemed completely different. And it's challenging not because it's, you know, horrible. It's challenging because it's different. It's challenging because, you you know, I feel like you're having to kind of relearn in a way. I guess relearn would be a good. See, I don't want to say relearn. I think you'd have to find a new way of doing the things you have been doing. I think some of you might be realizing what you're doing isn't working. Okay, and it could stem from not being authentic with either your word or, you know, how you feel in your actions. They're not meeting up, but something's going on that, you know, you realize, oh, this isn't working because of this, you know. So it might start out kind of difficult. Beginnings are always kind of rough because you're trying to find your footing, you're trying to see where things should go, you're trying to find your way. So don't let that get you down if that's what you're experiencing right now. It's just because you haven't totally figured out what really works for you yet, but you will. You know, that's just part of learning. You eventually find out what works for you in anything you do. So you'll kind of adapt and evolve to the situation, I think, once you are able to really recognize what's truthful. I put my arm down. There we go. Like, I know where it was. Once you're able to recognize the truth of the situation, honestly, how you feel, that's the first step towards really it's victory. And the Ace of Swords it's victory. It's victorious. It's just you're gonna have to do a little work to get there, but you promise victory, so can't complain too much. Trust, super important. Super important. And what are you trusting? The universe. That's the only thing you really need to trust. You need to trust the universe. You need to trust that everything's happening how it should. You are exactly where you need to be. You're learning things as you need to learn them. You're accomplishing things as you need to accomplish them. The worry needs to leave. Again, it's going to pop up fine. Okay. Feel it. Hang out with it for a little bit. That's fine. But then, you know, release it, integrate it, whatever you need to do. Okay. Keep going. You know, it's not to be insensitive or, you know, I just think you really need to find a good way of sitting down and almost sorting out what you're doing. You need to look at this in more of a logical, because it's great to feel emotions. It's great to feel it. You should never be like, oh, just get over it or tell somebody, you know what I mean? I get that. You know, but you should, if doing this, you know, isn't really working, you know, maybe you should try setting aside, taking notes of what makes you start doing this, and then go to a place that you could actually sit down and dissect these things in a more logical, because, you know, when you're so emotional, like you can't even think, you know, so you need to be able to kind of take a step back and really put yourself in an atmosphere that encourages authenticity, and you can just be real honest. You can be calm. You can look at things differently. Okay, they pointed out you never worry about certain things, but why? Like, you don't worry about the sun coming back up. You don't worry about the moon being out. You don't worry about the tides. You don't worry about, but why? Why aren't you worrying about, like, why aren't you, you know, last night were you like trembling that the sun wouldn't come up today? No, I'm sure you weren't. Maybe some people might, you know, people worry about stuff, you know. I don't know, maybe. But typically, you know, I'm not laying in bed at night thinking about, you know, oh my God, I wonder if the sun's going to be out tomorrow. You know, it's, some things just will happen, you know, and you don't need to really worry about them, I think is what I was being pointed out, is like, you just need to trust that it's going to happen. That's kind of where we are with, you know, the sun and the moon and tides and everything. It just trust that it'll happen. So that's really what we need to be doing. We need to be trusting that we're exactly where we need to be for what we need to be doing at this given moment in time. You know, and that's the best thing we're going to get, I think, right now, is just work on our trust. Trust ourselves. You had a lot of 33. So there's confirmation for me. You need to work on trusting yourself a lot. If you get some sort of, I know I'm over on time, damn it. If you get some sort of intuition that tells you to do something, to go somewhere, to look at something, trust it, okay? If you feel a certain way, don't let anyone talk you out of how you feel. That's how you feel, it's how you feel, okay? We need to start really being accountable and truthful with ourselves. All right, trust that good things are happening, good things are coming. Everything is awesome. Everything is exactly how it should be. I promise. Promise. Guaranteed. Okay? All right, I hope that was able to help somebody. I hope everyone has a really great day. Divine Destiny 1111. Be my friend on Instagram. If you need a reading, divinedestinytarot.com. Okay, I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and commenting on all my stuff. I love it. I love reading it. I love talking to you. Thank you for sharing your journey with everyone. It's nice for other people to recognize they're not alone. We're all in this together, and I'm so happy you're here. Thank you so much. I will see you later. Bye. Oh, pile number 2. Oh my gosh. What an incredibly delicious set of cards you got. All right, so you might notice, if not, that's fine. But you might have noticed that there's an extra card. I'm retiring my set, and I've got a new set of cards to replace them. It is the Smith-Waite, instead of Rider-Waite, it is the Smith-Waite Tarot, and it is absolutely beautiful. It's borderless, and it's vintage looking. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. It's so cool. See, it's a tiny bit bigger. But you guys, let me tell you what. Okay, you got the Magician, the World, Love, and 10 of Pentacles, which is like the dream. Okay? So, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. Where am I going to start? I will start. I guess I'll start with my regular cards. Okay, so this is the World. Isn't it pretty? All is right with the world, isn't it? Yes, it is. It's great. Things are great. That's usually when I get this card. For like in my personal readings and stuff. That's what I get this for. Like either when things are exactly how they should be, you know, everything is right in your world. Everything is going exactly how it should. It's like just divine everything at once. You know, it's just like divine timing, divine everything. Everything is just perfect. Working out perfectly. You can see it unfolding. You can see it kind of all the little pieces coming together, and it's really starting to be like, okay, I'm getting it now. It's exciting. It's fun. This also in like a love reading. Usually when I get this, if it's for like how someone feels, like you're the world to them. Like you mean everything to them. That's kind of this. It's everything. It's just like everything. The World is really a beautiful card, and it's very balanced. And it's not just balanced in one section, it's balanced in every way you can be balanced. I mean, there's the elements, there's the seasons, there's the upper and lower planes, there's everything represented in this card. It's absolutely beautiful. If you really take the time to like dissect this card, if you have time to do that, I suggest you do it because it's really cool, the symbolisms and stuff that's here. everything is working out exactly how it should. There's definitely been a progression. There's some sort of steady progression building in your life right now, and I think it's really leading up to almost like a pinnacle, some sort of like, oh my God. And I had gotten that in the first one. It's like you're having like an aha moment almost, but this pile seems to be like, it's not as heavy. Like there's definitely some learning still with that, with pile number 1. But like this pile, this just feels like everything is just, it's exactly how it should be. And it's a wonderful feeling. Yeah. I'm going to get to the Magician in a minute. Like they're pointing out the Magician. I'll explain. Okay. So the feeling is very peaceful. It's very warm. It's very beautiful. This, congratulations for whatever this is going on right now in your life, because it's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. I have to be under 5 minutes for each card so I can try to get this on time. All right, the Magician. He's awesome. Magician is absolutely amazing. The Magician, the reason it's great is because even if there is some heavy stuff going on in your world and like things might not be all, you know, rosy and stuff, they still feel that way. And the reason is because of this. It's because this is what you are now. This is what it is. You know, you have been given every tool you need to change any situation into exactly what it needs to be for you. Okay, there is not a situation, there's not a circumstance, there's not a person that can pull you out of what you are in right now. You know, you are in charge, you are in control of everything in your life. And I think you're really starting to notice that. Yeah, but it's past the point of like just like realizing it internally, you know, that intellectually realizing it, you know, this is like shit's manifesting. Stuff is happening and you're like, oh wow. You know, things are happening and it's really pretty cool to see. Because you're recognizing how much of it was you. You know, and you really didn't even know it. That's cool. That's power. It shows you how powerful you are. You really are. You're a magician. You're an alchemist. You're able to do anything you need to do to learn, to grow, and to evolve from situation to situation. You know, and there's nothing in this whole world that's gonna stop you from being able to do this in every scenario. Doesn't matter what is thrown at you. You know, roses, lilies, purity, passion, true honesty, you know, all these things you're learning, I think, are really what matters, what everything is about. You know, as long as you have certain things, certain key things, everything's fine. You know, and everything else, you know, it's kind of like details, you know, just kind of, you know, all this stuff here. Everything else is just stuff you gotta master. You're definitely making the connection with how you feel internally is what comes out externally. You're definitely making the connection with a lot of things that might be going on or have gone on, you know, in that the higher dimensions that you've kind of known were happening. But you might start seeing that more now. It's finally starting to kind of trickle in, I think, for you. Congratulations. One of those things might be new love. Now, the definition of the little book that came with this could be new love. It could be someone from your past that comes in, but you start over like it's a new love. It's very, the kind like you don't, there's no grudges, there's no resentment. There's like, it's honestly like an entirely new relationship. So if you have somebody and it's like you wouldn't be able to like let go of all the shit that went on and like you're still kind of like snarky about it, that's not this person. This is somebody that I'm like, ugh. This is somebody that's you willing to forgive and move on and kind of work on things. People make mistakes and stuff, and I think this would be that relationship. This is not somebody that you just never could forgive ever. That's not this person. This is going to be, and if it's a new person, then it's going to hit you like an arrow. It's just going to come out of nowhere and it's just going to be like a lightning bolt, and you're going to be done, like just done. So it'll be quick too. This isn't something that you prepare for. It's not something that you can like brace yourself for. So don't try. I mean, if it's that big of a deal, just make sure you look cute all the time. I don't know what to tell you because there's not going to be knowing when it happens. There's not going to be. So you're going to need to be, I guess, on your game then. Don't know what to tell you. Or you're just going to have to be like, they can like me how I look when I don't look good. That's all. Like, honestly, like sometimes, look, I'm wearing a sweatshirt. My hair's, I don't know what's going on with my hair. You like me or you don't. Because chances are, if somebody's with you, they're going to wake up one day and see you like that. So you want to make sure before that they can put up with it. That's like a good thing to do. Send somebody like pictures of you, no makeup, wearing like a shitty shirt, looking like hell. Like, do it. If they still like are like, yeah, she's pretty. All right. So maybe do that. Maybe go everywhere looking your worst. Try that. I don't know. Maybe not your worst, but like at least put a ponytail up. Try a little bit, but not too much. You're gonna, and there's not gonna be any doubts either. This is gonna be something that you're gonna be very like, oh, I know what this is. It's gonna be like instant, like, aha, I know who you are. This is going to be instant recognition. It's going to be very, very sweet, almost unbelievable. But there is, if this, like, again, there could be, I feel like either maybe it's past life, because I feel like there's a lot of, so either it's somebody from your past, because I feel like there's history, but it could also mean like a past life. It could just mean you have history from past life then. Doesn't have to be this life, I guess. I feel like I don't want to say baggage, because it feels very loving. It feels very sweet and warm. Like I feel like it's not like baggage, But I can't exactly tell. Maybe it's both. Maybe, because I feel like there's like stuff from like before now. I feel like a lot of you might already know the person, might know who they are, might be aware of them. For some of you, if you don't know them, then this is strictly you know them from past life. There's history there. I know there is. I can feel it. Like there's history. I think my daughter woke up. Interesting. Anyway, all right. Ten of Earth. Ten of Earth. Ten of Earth is Ten of Pentacles, and the normal looking tarot. Can't say Rider Waite anymore because I'm not be using that anymore. And like a regular tarot, it would be, if you've seen it, it's a picture. It's like multi-generations of family members. From the grandfather down to the children. There's dogs. There's animals. There's money. There's it's like a legacy card, I guess you could call it. You know, there's just generations of families and success, and just really, it's a beautiful, beautiful card. It really is like seen almost as like living the dream. Like you have everything you could possibly want. You have the security, you have, your home and your love, and like everything is exactly what, typically, I think most people would. There's different variations of what those are, but like that would be living like your dream life, especially in a like a home, life. Like building a home. And it's like a lasting home. It's something that is showing like generation upon generation upon generation, within this thing. So it's not something that's very, and it could be connected with this love card. Uh-oh, hold on. I feel like I hear my daughter. It's like being a parent sometimes is like watching one of those child play movies with Chucky. You hear their little feet go, and you're like, they're out there. I can hear her feet moving around. It's just a matter of time. She'll go looking for me. Oh, God. Where's mommy? Hold on. Okay. Sorry. All right. So, Ten of Earth. It says happy home life, financial security, fighting magic, and little things in life. That last little bit, fighting magic with things in life, that kind of brought me back to this feeling here. That's what it feels like. It just feels like no matter what happens, it's like there's some sort of underlying awesomeness, some kind of a piece, or like it's just like everything's right. Like there's just some sort of everything is right, even when it's not. That's weird. Usually I do these last, the healing cards. I usually always save healing cards for last, but I did it before because it's all supposed to tie in. Some of y'all have something going on very important. You've manifested it too. So some of you know exactly what this is because you've manifested it. So it's not going to be like, oh, I wonder what this is. No, you know what it is. For some of you might just, feel that in general. But for some of you, there's something, and it could be this. Well, either you're manifesting somebody or somebody's manifesting you. Or you manifesting each other. Things are really great. Incredible. Just keep that feeling about you. Okay? Make sure you keep that feeling about you. You have some really cool stuff coming up. There's so many different types of love too. I mean, I know most times people will think like romantic love, and I think that this has a lot to do with romantic love, but there's also a lot of other types of love. I think it's familiar love, especially, like that family life kind of a feeling to it. finally manifesting it. So congratulations. If there is something that does bother you, like because I feel like some of you, you know, there wants to be forgiveness, there wants to be, it's like something happened, you know how it was, like I said, like if it's that person and it's just like, oh hell no, like it's not them. But if they have hurt you, you need to be able to be honest about it. You know, you need to be able to discuss it and really talk about it and be honest about it. You know, if this is honestly what they are to you, okay, you being honest is not going to scare them away. You know, if anything, it'll make things better because it'll bring you closer to each other. You know, so it's not something, you know, you'd be like, oh, if I tell them this, then they might not stay and they might think this or that. Or no, if they honestly should be in your life, if they honestly, you know, really care, that it's going to be like important to them as well. Okay, so you don't need to worry. And if it's not, then you just saved yourself potentially years of bullshit. Okay, so don't feel too bad. Okay, it's you dodged a bullet. So it's whatever. It's, you know, whatever happens, this is still what your life is. Okay, it's absolutely everything it needs to be right now. Okay, you're in a good place. All right, I hope that was able to help somebody. I hope everyone has a really great day. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing and commenting. I love hearing all your stories and letting me know that this resonates with you. It really helps me. Divine Destiny 1111, if you want to be my friend on Instagram, you really should. DivineDestinyTarot.com, if you need a reading, you can go there and get one from me. I think that's about it. So please keep commenting, okay? I love it. All right, everyone have a really good day. Bye. Ooh, pile number 3. What's going on? What is going on? What? Oh, I heard mental prison. What? What? Why? What's going on? Okay, a lot of this right now for some of you is just astrological. It really, like, some of the energies are heavily associated with, you know, how things are astrologically for you. Okay, so just hang in there is what I'm getting for some of you. For others, this is, and I'm being as gentle as possible. It's you. You're doing it to yourself. I know it wasn't too gentle. You're doing it to yourself. Okay, and I'm telling you this honestly, bluntly, to the point, because I don't want to beat around the bush. And you know, there's a lot of readers that will try to sugarcoat, and there's a good behind everything. I get it. You can see the good in everything. I totally am like that myself. But sometimes it helps to hear just honest things. Stop it. I'm kidding. Obviously, it's not that easy. No, I know that. It's very mental. It's very it's almost disillusioning. It's like and some of this stuff I don't even think is real. Like, I feel some of it is just purely fear. Like there's no basis in any kind of facts behind it. There's just like these things that pop up in your head and you're like, you just kind of run with them. Okay. Like, and everyone's like, I'm guilty of this. Like, I've done this plenty of times. You know, you think too much and you think yourself into it crying, you know, because it's like, oh my God, you have too many scenarios going on. We don't need to do that. You know, when you're living in so many other scenarios, and so you're not living presently. You can't be living in the moment presently and, you know, a year from now, and like, you can't be doing it. When you want to do that, when you're trying to live, you know, and I don't know if it'd be what, like reconnaissance, you know, checking out the future or whatever, like checking out timelines and stuff, do that in a setting that, sorry. She's up. She was up early today. She was up a little bit ago. All right. Like I said, if you're trying to do that sort of work, you know, if you're that kind of, you know, visualization, manifesting, whatever you want to call it, just check it in. Do that in a controlled and time when you could actually be present when you're doing it. Okay, when you catch yourself doing it when you're supposed to be doing other things, you need to bring yourself back. Okay, let that be like a little like, oh, there's the signal. I need to come back to where I am right now. Okay, it's easy to, especially like I do it like when I'm like folding laundry or washing dishes. Like when you're doing the monotonous stuff that you kind of like can do on autopilot driving, you know, which you should pay attention when you're driving, obviously. Those are the kind of times when these things will happen the most. It's when you're doing things that you've done so many times that it's like you can do them with your eyes closed, basically. So watch for times like that. Could be when you're at work doing a certain thing. Maybe you're on the computer. Maybe you're doing whatever it is. There could be little triggers that you might notice. So we really want to learn them, and it's not about stopping them because they're not going to stop. You know, things aren't going to stop. Okay, you're human. You're having a human experience. Things are not going to stop. But you can work with them, and you can learn to train yourself pretty much, okay, to not have it affect you in a way that hurts you. Detrimental to your health. That's what I heard. Some of you, this is really super important that you hear this, okay, and that you listen. You're overthinking things. You can't be overthinking things like this. It's making you sick. It's, you know, I don't know if you've probably heard that, you know, this disease. It's when you're not at ease with yourself. And it's so true. Like, it's really, whatever grief there is, dedicate time for it, you know. But when you're not dedicating time for it, you need to be present as much as possible. Okay, that will help. There's really, like, it's, and it's not just one area. Like, it's not like this for whoever this is. Like, and it could be a couple different people, I guess. Like, some of it's self-worth, some of it's trust, some of it's like relationships and worst case scenarios. You know, that's the easiest way to have them happen, is to spend like time living in, you know, because depending on how good you are at visualizing things like that, like, you really could be setting into motion things that you don't want to happen. So you really need to be careful, okay? And as long as you can recognize that you're doing it and steal yourself back, you're fine. It's like, oh, you know, it's like readjusting a boat, you know, back on course. You know, this isn't one of those things that, like, positive thinking, like, no amount of positive thinking is going to, like, make this go away. This is, you know, this is you consciously having to choose which reality you live in. That's what that is. Body care. Super important. This could be going along with your self-love, your self-image that you might be worrying about. Maybe you don't have enough self-love. Super, super, super important. Probably one of, I think, the most important things, self-love. Without a doubt. That's like paramount in any kind of, road to finding yourself or anything. You really need to accept yourself and love who you are. I feel like some of you don't want to, you might be very modest, but it's not modest because, like religiously, you don't want to show skin or like things like that. It's like you don't feel like, it's like yeah, I guess like a shame, maybe shameful. So some of you might be have to deal with that. There might be some kind of shame from your childhood, I would imagine. Parents will shame, like, my daughter's 4 and she's constantly running around in her underwear. She can't stand having clothes on. She's like always naked. She loves herself, and that's not something, when she wants to wear clothes, she puts clothes on, she dresses up, she likes to play dress up and stuff. Fine. A lot of parents will shame their children for being naked. So then what do you think happens when they grow up and they become grown-ups? Is they don't like being seen naked. They don't like being seen without any clothes on. It's shameful. Like, oh, you're naked, cover up. Well, why? What's wrong with that? That's how they were born. I don't see anything wrong with that. So I try not to, even with my kids, like, you want to walk around in your underwear, go ahead. Be comfortable with yourself. That's fine with me. You should not be teaching your child. I don't think, again, I'm not trying to judge anyone. I'm not being judgy. Just saying, don't make your kids be ashamed of their bodies. And if you were that kid, maybe there's a place you can kind of focus on. That might be an area that you need to really focus on for healing. Could be shame associated with your body from your childhood. I keep hearing, it's like I'm hearing moms, especially, it's a woman, it's a mom. You can't look like that. You have to have clothes on, or you can't. It's almost like it was like, it seemed disgusting to her that you didn't have clothes on. Like, oh, like, you put clothes on, you don't have any clothes. Like, it's very, like, you associated from a very young age shamefulness in your body. Huh. Love yourself. And I know that's easy. It's easy for people to like, love yourself. I get it. Also take care of yourself, please. People ask me, all the time, people will be like amazed at how old I am. They'll be like, oh, when I was in Belize, I was talking to a guy, and we were talking about, Dr. Saving and all sorts of different things, because, he'd asked me, he's like, I don't know what you're doing. He's like, but you need to keep doing it because you look great. And we got talking, and I told him, I said, I'm vegan. I told him that's why. I'm like, I know that's why, and we got talking about vegan stuff, and he was vegan too. And it's so incredible. It's like before you go vegan, people will tell you, oh, it's the best thing I ever did. You don't really believe it. I didn't. I was like, yeah, okay. Thanks for the info. And it kept being thrown up to me, but I get it. After I finally did go vegan and I started being careful about what I was eating, a whole new person. Like you have to be. I'm not saying you need to go vegan. If you want to eat meat, you want to eat meat. If you want to eat, eat vegetarian, eat vegetarian. It doesn't matter to me. Like I have my own. I'm good. I'm not losing sleep over it. But you should be at least doing your research, I think. And if after you do your research you still don't mind consuming certain energies and things like that, that's your decision. But I can testify that just by eating more fruits and vegetables and good food, I am a completely different person. I'm completely happier. I am healthier. I am more content. I'm clearer. I'm lighter. It's actually an amazing thing to take care of yourself. So that might help some of you if you're really, not feeling. I know there's like a heaviness, when you're not eating well, and you're not doing what you should. I think there's like a heaviness about it. But you don't have that when you eat really well. And plus, you're not killing animals, which is nice. So I like animals. All right. Three of Earth, Three Pentacles. That for me is like a, it's like a collaboration card. It's like you're working in tandem with something else. Like all things like gears, like when the gears fit and everything kind of turns as one, but it all turns as one with different parts, but they're all doing the same thing. It's like different parts that are moving the same thing, and that's kind of what this Three of Pentacles is for me. Usually it's like a working in tandem with other things, being creative, the creative process, brainstorming, what do they call them, like thought jams or whatever. I'm not sure what it's the term, but it's like, people get together, think tanks and stuff, that kind of a thing. So I think, maybe either joining groups or maybe sitting in on something would be very helpful, especially with those of you going through any number of these issues. Find people who are also going through these things or have gone through these things. It's nice to know you're not alone and that other people experience them. And you can also, maybe even if you only get one piece of information, one piece of advice that really sticks out from you from each person you talk to, that's still one piece of advice that you can really use in your everyday life. Like you really, at some point you have to really start digging for the jewels. Okay, like they're not just always going to be like, oh, look at this. Like it's not always like that. Sometimes you really have to like dig through a situation, through an interaction to be like, all right, that's why we had this. That's why this interaction happened. So thank you. So that's something you need to be aware of. Don't let this stuff, like if you're working with other people too, like at your job or something, try not to bring that into your work. Whether they're, good at showing it or not, everyone has shit going on. Everybody. I don't care how perfect they look. I don't care what, how great at work they look. Like, oh, wow, she looks great. She's got shit going on. Everybody's got shit going on, okay? You don't need, if you are bringing it to work, then you're taking your shit and you're pushing your shit onto other people's shit, okay? And they're doing that to you. We don't need it. We don't want it. Take your shit back. No shit here, okay? We need nothing, right? They can just keep their shit, right? Don't get involved in it. If anyone tries to come to you and be gossipy or did you just ain't my shit, ain't my circus, ain't my monkeys, right? Don't want any part of it. No thanks. And that brings you to your Four of Swords, which is the rest. For me, when I get this card, it's a subtle way of them telling me I need to sit down, shut up, and meditate. That's them saying you need to meditate, you need to be quiet, you need to stop. You need to just stop. Okay? See how he's dead? He's like dead. He's dead. Just stop. But he's just resting. Because if you can see, like, it's hard to see how the shadow is, but if you look, it's open. The coffin is open. That's why I love tarot. There's like so many little things that you only notice like until you stare at the cards a lot, you know. So he's just resting. Okay, this isn't like he's dead. He's just resting. So that to me is always like an indication of taking a time out, doing meditation, even just sitting quietly for a few minutes and just kind of like resting my thoughts and not letting anything really pop up in my brain, or you know what I mean? Like sometimes it's good to just have those like decompression sessions just to chill a little bit. It's needed. It's necessary. It's important. All right. Oh, that's right. I don't know if you noticed, you had 4 cards today instead of 3. I'm phasing out my cards. But I bought beautiful new cards to replace them. So these are the cards that you guys are going to start getting now. I love them. They're so pretty. And they feel great. I should do a deck review on them, but I love them. Anyway, I hope this had something, you know, in it that could help you. I hope you have a really good day. Divine Destiny 1111. Be my friend on Instagram. If you need a reading, divinedestinytarot.com. I hope everyone has a great day. I really want to thank you for commenting on all the stuff and sharing your stories. And believe me, it helps people to read it. It really does. Like, please keep sharing. So thank you for that. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Welcome everyone who is a new subscriber. Thank you so much. I love you guys. All right. That's it. I think I'm done. Have a good one. I'll talk to you later.